Welcome to a Woj Lowe NBA preview special bonus hour, bonus something. We just wrapped our show, and we wrapped it with a very quick discussion of guys who are eligible for rookie extension deals. Ben Simmons got one, Jamal Murray got one, Karis LeVert got one. I think as we head to October 21st deadline, there are 5 names to watch that are realistic candidates for big deals.
Right.
Jaylen Brown in Boston, Buddy Hield in Sacramento, Pascal Siakam of the defending champion Toronto Raptors, Domantas Sabonis, a really good under-the-radar player, and Brandon Ingram in New Orleans. I think Ingram is the least likely because of his health issues and because he's on a new team. Teams will typically say in that situation, let's just see what we have. You can talk about him if you want, but those other 4 I think are really, really interesting. 2 wings in Jaylen Brown and Buddy Hield. Everyone needs wings. Everyone needs shooting. Buddy Hield's like maybe the 3rd best shooter in the whole league. Siakam, jack of all trades, awesome all-around player. Sabonis, big man. That's the big man market is sometimes tricky. Pick any of them. What do you see happening?
Well, first thing, Zach, is it's more interesting this year with this group because of what next summer will look like. Because if they don't get these rookie extensions done by the 21st, they can become restricted free agents next summer. And because it is such a barren, unrestricted free agent market, and the teams who are going to have space are smaller market and teams who are young and building, Atlanta, Memphis, Charlotte, Toronto will have that space next summer, and we know they're headed toward a reshaping of that roster. They're going to be able to go out and throw potentially, whether it's a max offer sheet or really big contracts at teams with the idea of, maybe they have nothing to lose, and their money's not going to be tied up in restricted free agency, and they're going to go lose out on the max unrestricted guy they want. They're not going after those guys. It gives Siakam, Hield, Sabonis, Brown, a lot of leverage in this marketplace, and it makes it more interesting than the typical one. But Siakam at the top, he's going to get a max contract. If he doesn't get one from Toronto or one just south where, sometimes a player will give the team a little bit of a discount to get the security, to get the security of catastrophe.
Lock it in.
Right. But Siakam out in the marketplace next summer is getting a max deal. Look at him. 25 points a game, 60% shooting in the finals and the 4 wins. You saw him, what he looks like without Kawhi Leonard. His numbers, when Kawhi, missed so many games with load management, his numbers were outstanding without him. So you already saw what it looks like.
And he has the potential, forget the numbers, don't forget them, but he has the potential to be one of the very best defensive players in the entire league.
Yeah, he's 25 years old. He didn't start playing basketball until he was 16. Like, there's growth and upside. And so Masai Ujiri drafted him. He drafted him. They developed him there. This is their guy. And so that one will be, we'll see where the numbers come in. But Buddy Hield in Sacramento is a really interesting one because if the Kings want to hold off and say, listen, we're going to pay De'Aaron Fox, we're going to pay Marvin Bagley, Buddy Hield, I think, would get a max deal next summer from a team because, listen, this is a player who in his first 3 years in the league, more three-pointers in his first 3 than any other player.
When you rank the best shooter, he shot 43% from 3 last year on 8 attempts per game. When you rank the best shooters in the league, I think it goes Steph, Clay, Buddy Hield, and that's it. Like only the Splash Brothers.
And when you're the Kings and you have a player who essentially is homegrown, he came in the DeMarcus Cousins trade, but has played his career, in Sacramento. You're not getting a player like him in unrestricted free agency in Sacramento. Small markets aren't. And if you don't get a deal done with him and you leave some acrimony, you can go match the offer sheet next summer. Utah went through that with Gordon Hayward. And if you look back at when they made him go out into the marketplace, get an offer sheet from Charlotte, the residue of that never fully went away. And it lingers. And, you can go out and get a 2+1 deal in restricted free agency that keeps you under control for one less year with that team. I think Buddy Hield, this is a player who is going to have a lot of leverage coming out of it next summer. But for Sacramento, they've got to. This is the kind of guy that you don't want to upset because it changes the dynamic of your team.
See, I disagree only a little bit in that a max for Buddy Hield scares me a little bit. Only in that shooting is the most important skill in the NBA. is he bringing anything else to the table for me?
And I don't know that Sac has to give him a max. I think they've got to do a deal. Again, you're gambling as a player and the agent with, you know, are you going to turn down $100 million for the chance to get 115? Like that's difficult. But if you look at teams who are going to have cap space, like someone will throw a max offer sheet at him, because the only way you can get a player in restricted free agency is to overpay. Because
I might call that bluff.
Right? No, but you're
call the bluff.
Right? You're banking. He's going to be worth more in restricted free agency than it will take for them to have to pay him now. That's how it always works. But you always have to overpay in restricted free agency. You know, that's why Chandler Parsons got a max deal in Dallas from Houston. He wasn't a max player, but it's the marketplace. And the marketplace next summer, when you look at Atlanta, Memphis, Charlotte, Cleveland, Toronto, again, these are not free agent destinations. And Buddy Hield, you know, a Jaylen Brown, they fill that need. And Jaylen Brown in Boston, Danny Ainge has not done a rookie extension for one of his draft picks since
Rondo
in 2009, 2010. Marcus Smart did one after. He didn't get it done, but he got it done. He was in restricted free agency, and they re-signed him that summer. And Brown's interesting because you've already got Gordon Hayward and Kemba Walker on max deals, and you have Jason Tatum coming up behind him. Yep. Can you pay 4 players?
Well, he's almost the inverse of Buddy Hield, where I know exactly what Buddy Hield is as a player. Jaylen Brown has looked like different kinds of players depending on the context, and this is a huge year for him. Sabonis we didn't really get to, but he's at the wrong position, I think, to turn down 80, 85 million, whatever gets thrown at him, and they obviously have the Miles Turner piece to figure out, can those two coexist? It feels like the most inevitable trade in the NBA that one of them will eventually get moved off the Pacers. But the center,
and it's easier to make that trade when you have the guy under contract. You have a deal done.
And the center market just isn't the same as the wing market, the way the NBA has evolved. So we'll see what happens. We only have 11 days until we figure this all out.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.